Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nekozuki Knits podcast. My name is Katie, and today is Wednesday, September 14th, 2016, and this is episode 43. Thanks so much for joining me for the first time if you're new, and welcome back to everybody if you're coming back for another episode. Thanks so much. I really appreciate all of the views I get and any comments I get in the Ravelry group, too. Thanks so much, guys. I got some good suggestions for books last week, and I would love if you would continue that either in episode 42's thread or you can actually comment in this episode's show notes thread as well for some book recommendations. And I know that I put some parameters on it last week, but I'll try anything, so go ahead and suggest stuff. My particular favorite genre is young adult, particularly older young adult, like 16, 17 range, and fantasy, but that doesn't mean that I won't read other things. So yeah, I have actually gotten a lot of knitting done this week. The first object I'll show you is a hoe, or a half-finished object. And that is the Reached for Your Pleasure socks that I'm knitting out of Ancient Arts in the Eiffel Tower colorway. On there, it's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon fingering weight base. And it's turned out gorgeous. I'm done the first sock. I haven't cast on the second sock. I really only need one right now because of Knit City, but I think I might finish the second so that I have another entry for the Two Tangled Skeins Brown Bag Sock Club, since I've been doing really well and I've entered at least one item for every month this year already. So this would be another item. I finished the other, Yarn Ink Reached for Your Pleasure socks as well, or the Reached for Your Pleasure socks out of Yarn Ink. So that would be a pair I can count too. And Dallas's Contrast socks from the Regia would count as the first pair, and then the Yarn Ink, and then this would be a third. Anyway, very long story short, really. I have one sock out of two. And if I can get the other finished, I can enter the Brown Bag Sock Club Cal. Done. Then the other project that I've gotten lots of work done on is my cardigan. I'm super excited, guys, because I might actually have this done for Knit City. It would be amazing if I could. So, as you can see, I've connected the sleeves. I've got sleeves for my armies. There's definitely some things that are hopefully going to be fixed in blocking or won't be visible when I'm actually wearing it. You can see pretty well there how the lace is working up. And the spinning wheel down here is where I was when I started working on this week. So that was on the body. So I finished the one sleeve. I can't remember which one it was, but I finished one of the sleeves. Whichever one I showed you last week, and then I picked up the body to finish the rest of the length, and then joined in for the sleeves. The one modification I've made so far is I did not do any bust shaping. I'm knitting a larger size than I am, so I have positive ease, and I didn't feel like putting in the extra work. Honestly, I'm under a time crunch. I just want the sweater, and since I do have an extra... Typically, I'm a 42 to 43 inch bust, and I'm knitting the 44.25 inch bust. And in my brief try-on today, it is fitting well. I was a lot further. I was 5 rows further earlier, but then I realized that I had messed up the decreases and done only 5 rows of decreases instead of the 10 rows that it actually asked for. So I had to rip out about 6.5 rows of work, which is really, really, really annoying. But I needed the extra length in here, so the armhole is already about here. But because now it's a yoke-shaped sweater, so all the shaping happens like evenly, kind of across the shoulders. It's going to start sloping in like this instead of going like raglan like this, which has more vertical height. The yoke is going to curve more up. So I have to make sure that I do actually get enough height so that, yeah, just so it fits properly. So I ripped back, and it will make it a lot better. The other thing is too, is then it will actually not make it quite as bulky in the upper chest, because I'm using high bust measurements, or the largest part of my bust, not upper bust. And having an extra, like, quite a few stitches up here would add a lot of bulk. So going back and redoing the decreases is going to be fantastic. Excuse me. And that is the Ginny cardigan is out of, I have it right here, the Unofficial Harry Potter Knits. So it's actually this cardigan right here. And I'm knitting it on the pattern needles, which for the body is a US 6, 4.0 millimeter, and the sleeves is a US 4. Sorry, no. Body and sleeves is US 6, 4.0 millimeter needles. The ribbing is on a US 4, 3.5 millimeter needle. And it's being knit out of Sweet Georgia Superwash DK in the amethyst colorway. So those are the two things I've worked on this week. Not much, but a lot of progress on that cardigan, so I'm really happy with that actually. I am really hopeful that I'll have that done before Knit City. Dallas has one more week home before Knit City, and that's usually when I get most of my knitting done. And I should be able to get it done. Fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. I'm really hoping I do. So that brings me into CALs. The Knit City CAL is going on until tomorrow. So you have tomorrow to finish and post your photos. I will close the thread at midnight Pacific Daylight Time, which is Vancouver time. So get your entries in by then. I will do the drawings on Friday, September 16th, and make a post in the finished object thread, as well as the chatter thread to actually no, just the finished object thread, because I will ear burn you there. And then what you'll do is you'll message me for whatever prize you receive, and then I'll put you in contact with the proper people. We have weekend passes to the marketplace. We have a skein of Sea Turtle Fiber Arts yarn and some Knit City swag. So in the case of a couple of those, I'll just get you in contact with the Knit City ladies, and then in the other one, I'll get you in contact with Sea Turtle itself. And then the Canada Cal. So the Canada Cal is going until September 30th. Again, that'll run right until midnight of September 30th, and so that's just over 2 weeks away. All the rules are in the Ravelry group for both of these, and sorry, the Knit City one is being run in the Knit City group on Ravelry. The Canada Cal is also being run on my Nekozuki Knits Ravelry group, so definitely go check out for all the rules. There's been lots of entries, so I'm really appreciative of that. Thanks so much, guys. And for that, we have prizes. Actually, we have lots of prizes, so you have a really good chance still of winning something. There's going to be 2 bags for me, 1 large and 1 small, both in the Canadian Provinces and Animals print. And then there are 2 skeins of Fishnets yarn, the Canadiana and the HBC Stripes Only yarn. And then we also have a prize from Ancient Arts Yarn, which is a skein of their sport weight 8-ply cabled. 8-ply cabled sport weight, and in the Vancouver colorway. So yeah, we've got lots of prizes. 5 prizes in total. So come on over and enter, and that will be ending September 30th. I will be taking prizes with me to Vancouver and then Victoria after Knit City. And I will do the draw more officially on the podcast after Knit City, which will be, I think I said the 4th or 5th, one of those 2 days. I'm not 100% sure yet. Basically when I get time. Probably on the Tuesday though, unless I record on Monday. We'll see. Anyway, it'll be happening, and I'll do the draw live on the podcast. The Knit City draw I will be doing at home on Friday, and then posting the results in the group. It'll all be determined by random.org, which is the random number generator. So those are the cows, and thanks so much. Both of the prizes got claimed for the Ridge for Your Pleasure cow, and they both got to the recipients, so I'm really glad. Thanks for letting me know, ladies. I really appreciate that. And that brings me into what I'm actually reading right now. I'm going to take the price tag off of it. So I picked up Empire Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce her last name. You've already run into this because I've read quite a few of her books since I started the podcast, actually. I think I've read all of them since I started the podcast. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. This is one of those books that the author really hit her stride in about the third book. First one was decent, but very YA. Fell into a lot of the same tropes, and I get it because you have to sell the book. The second book was decent, but the third book, holy, she really hit her stride. This is the fifth in the series, I think. It's the Throne of Glass. And yeah, it's the fifth book. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not that far in because the one drawback with the lace chart on the Ginny's cardigan is I can't actually do lace and knit very easily. So it's been a little bit slower go. And it also hasn't been focused. It only came out last week. But really enjoying it so far. And I can't recommend it highly enough, actually. It is definitely an older teen book as well. It deals with a lot of mature subject matter, basically. So, that brings me to Chatter, which we didn't do anything this week, basically. We walked to Dairy Queen for ice cream last night. Dallas had an exam this week, so we stayed at home, and I worked, and he studied. We were able to actually sit out and enjoy our deck, which was really nice, though. And I got quite a bit of work done, which is always good leading up into the show. And I have more things to put into the update on the 17th. So I'll go right into shop chatter. Yeah, the next update will be September 17th at noon Mountain Daylight Time. And I guess I should mention, if you guys aren't interested in knowing about the shop update, I will chat with you all next week. Hopefully I have a cardigan. Well, hopefully I have more work done on my cardigan to show you next week. And I will chat with you then. And if you're entering the Knit City Cal, watch for the earburn in the group. So, back to the shop update. I got quite a few of the Obi bags done. How that's going to work is... Sorry. I've got duplicates of a lot of them. They're all slightly different because they all come out of different parts of the patterning. But most of them did produce at least 2 of a certain type. So what I'm doing is I'm going to post half of what I've gotten out of the bags to Etsy. And then I'm going to reserve half for Knit City. Which is another thing that I did want to mention too, is if you are coming to Knit City and you would like anything out of the shop, let me know and I can send you a free shipping coupon code, and then just let me know when you're going to come by into the marketplace so I can set it aside and you can do pickup actually. Because I know that a lot of people, like, there's stuff in the shop and if you really want it, I don't want it to sell it before you purchase it. Especially with these Obi bags. Like I said, I will try to make sure that I do reserve some, but you never know. So, I will start actually with, not with the Obi bags, but stuff you've seen before, which are needle stashers. I've got new prints in them. Most of them are Japanese prints. I'll show you the North American prints first, actually. So, I finally got some sushi needle stashers done for the shop. And all of them are slightly different for the print. And I'm sorry, that is kind of blowing it out. That's a little bit more true to color. Not quite as blown out, especially in here. That looks really dark. He's a lot more pastel, but not really. Hard to say. And who knows, this might show up completely fine on your computer screen. So, but sushi, happy sushi. Japanese inspired North American print. This is Blue Sakura. Front and back. I'm starting to match the snaps. All of these are metal snaps. They're applied with the snap press. and there's 3 of them. And then of course I'm going to put my tag in there, I just haven't gotten there quite yet. There's those. There's plaid with blue and gold swirly accents. Pirate ships, I guess. Arr. Those are all North American. And then Japanese fabric, you've seen this in bags. One side will be facing up, one side will be upside down, depending on how you look at it. This is a new one. And this says cat. That's the kanji for cat, neko, nekozuki, cat lover. Kittens, gray tabbies on pink, and this is a little bit heavier weight linen blend. Very nice and sturdy. And then this is the final Japanese print, sakura on pink sakura on like a nighttime sakura background. Okay, and then the next items are notions pouches, and I just grabbed one. So there's some duplicates of these as well, so I'm just showing you the singles, same as the needle stashers, because you don't need to see that I have however many of each of them because that gets boring. Anyway, cat heads on notions pouch again, and I made sure that Neko was upright on one side. Subtle cherry blossoms with subtle texture. There are actual wedge bags in the shop of this too. Gorgeous. It's a really lightweight fabric, but so pretty. This one I am going to show both because they're actually quite a bit different. Lucky cats. Happy Sushi, one with green zipper. Only one of these ones with green zipper is available. And then there'll be 2 with the red zipper. And pattern placement does vary on all of these. Same as the beige one, just a different background color for subtle cherry blossoms, gray zipper. Then Indonesian batik snowflakes, or batik snowflakes. And then the gray tabbies on the pink background as well. And now, obi bags. So a lot of people don't know this. Obi are actually the belts that you wear around a kimono. And they're really pretty. There's not much more to say than that. I will have a, excuse me, this is a wee wedge size, but yeah, all obi. So what I end up doing is I cut the motif, and then actually the gray in this one as well is also from that obi too. And as you can see, the pattern differs quite a bit through the whole thing and on the handle as well. Obi bag. Then this one, I love this print so much. And this one I do have gold stitching on as well, very subtle. It's got this nice subtle kind of variegation, I guess, in it. Sorry, I'll try to make sure it's not shiny. It is really shiny in person, though. Well, not quite as shiny as it's showing up on screen, but it's very pretty. I love this one. Again, this was the motif, and then this was the backing of the obi. So that's what I use for edging. And then the handle is also from the motif, and that's also backed with the backing. Now, I don't know any of the content of these obi. They're all vintage as far as I know. Not super old vintage, but vintage. Like one I cut into was from 2000, so I think that counts as vintage. Anyway, they're older. They're all upcycled from the obi, and they're all obi that I did purchase when I was in Japan in March and April, with the express purpose of making project bags, actually. And then what ends up happening is I do line them just with a very subtle lining, so you can see you're knitting. It's a nice bright, like light lining. This is a small wedge bag. Now, my proportions on these are slightly different because an obi is a certain width and I want to use as much fabric as possible and all of that. So these are a little bit wider than my normal wedge. But, so they'll just hold a little bit more. Oh no. Again, though, from the backing, this one has subtle blue metallic stitching, and then this is the full width of part of the motif. As you can see, the colors really show up differently in different light. So gorgeous. These are going to be really hard to photograph. This one is the same motif, but in this case I used a black twill. So if I haven't used the backing of or the fabric from the obi, I am using a heavy twill, or a twill. It's not super heavy, but I am using a twill just to kind of match the obi itself, so because it's heavier weight. Again, super gorgeous. This one I did red metallic stitching on. It's an adventure, guys. I don't know. I've finished these a little bit ago. Not, I think, after the last podcast, but I've done a lot of work. This one's cool because it's sheer. So you're actually looking through to the obi interfacing, gold metallic stitching, and then the black twill again. Excuse me. So I'm gonna have fun playing around with this a little bit later. This is another small wedge as well. And sorry, the black twill of this one is also small wedge. These are all small wedge right now. And then finally, yeah, there's this silver gray one. And this one is a little bit different in that the obi kind of wraps around the edge, whereas the other ones, it just finishes. And then it's either the twill or the backing there. But this one, the obi goes right down to the bottom. There you can see. And again, the pattern is really different across the length of it, or width of it, I guess. Excuse me. But absolutely gorgeous. I really like how they turned out. So, these are exclusive to my shop. No one else on Etsy, or as far as I can tell, the internet, makes project bags out of obi. So, yay, something a little bit different, and hopefully you guys like them as well. And look for them in the shop on September 17th, noon Mountain Time. And I will chat with you guys all in a week. Thanks so much and have an awesome week of crafting. Bye!